Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the eSports Report. Chris Bucket and Benson at the desk, and we're joined now live via Skype by the captain of Rise Nation. We got Mr. Pacman. And Pacman, I know you've been playing in competitive Call of Duty for years. I was actually looking at the numbers. You are going to be the oldest competitor in the Season 3 playoffs.
Wow.
Something that I found incredibly impressive. A lot of people still don't know enough about you. Where did you start gaming? What was kind of your first tournament for Call of Duty?
I started in Call of Duty 2, but I would say that my first actual tournament was Las Vegas 2008 for the national championships, which I won, by the way.
Which I won. Who did you guys beat back in 2008? Who was the competition? Anyone who's still in the competitive scene?
We beat Envious, which at the time was Stainville, Foreplay, Nemesis, and Fierce. So Stainville and Foreplay are still around. The other two have gone on living life,
But you've been playing since 2008. It's now 2014. Season 3 playoffs, basically like a national championship here to close out the year. But before we get to the Season 3 playoffs, let's talk a little bit about Rise Nation. First off, after 2008, we saw some ups and downs in your placings. What were some of the highlights on your way to 2014?
Well, at the time, after 2008, I played like another season or two of Call of Duty, but then I switched over to Halo because, Halo was huge at the time. So I switched over, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So, I didn't place that well in Halo, maybe like a couple top 20s or top 24s or whatever, but it was really just about having fun, like gaming's roots. And then we come back for I really just started back in Call of Duty at Black Ops 2, and I did okay, but now I found a comfortable mix of players. And we get along really well inside and outside of the game, so it's really fun. I love being a part of this team.
And how did this Rise Nation squad form? Who started it? Where did the idea come from? Basically, walk us through the start of Rise to where you're at now.
All right, well, I've known Wheats. Wheats has been competing also since 2008. We never actually teamed back then, but we'd always been friends. So I started teaming with him in MW3, and we played all the way through to Black Ops 2, and now we're still teaming. And we met Looney, who at the time was a complete random, let's say, in MW3. But he actually beat our team, and I was like, this kid's actually really good. And we started playing with him then too. And then obviously everyone knows Attach is like a rising superstar. He's really flashy. So we picked him up to start this season. He's been in the other seasons. He's gotten last, by the way. I like to tell Dylan that all the time. Comes to play with Daddy. And we finishes second in the league.
Well,
so basically, I made him.
I think you guys surprised a lot of people leading the first half of Season 3. You stayed in the top 2 all the way down to the end, where you finished second, only behind Envy in the Season 3 regular season. Coming in Nashville and even your previous tournaments, everyone was saying Rise Nation. It's an online squad. They're only good because of their routers. Did you have something to prove at Nashville, or have you learned to just ignore all of the hate that you've gotten used to?
I think we get all that hate all the time. I think it's a little ridiculous. I have something to prove every single tournament. I think every team has something to prove every single tournament. You go out there, you want to play and do as well as you can. At Dallas, we underperformed, and that just caused us to get so much hate. Like every single day, we'd get a bunch of tweets. Like we can't respond to all of them, but we see them, just making fun of us, telling us how bad we are on LAN. Like that was our only bad LAN placing in this game as a team.
That's
our only really bad LAN placing. But it just happened to come after we were in the league and in first place or second place in the league or whatever. But we were still
inconvenient timing, really.
Right.
It was bad timing, and we were still in open bracket at that tournament. We started. It's not like a real excuse. We won through open bracket anyways. But we were in open bracket at that tournament. It's not like, and we lost to FaZe, who just won this last tournament. So we didn't lose to bad players.
Right. Yeah, you lost to good teams, but as you said, now Nashville's over. We obviously have the next finals that you're going to be playing in, and just the immediate grin on your face there. I can just imagine you're thinking now, after a great season online, a good LAN performance. I picked you. I haven't told Puckett this yet, but you're actually in my top 2 for the next event. So I'm putting faith in you, Pacman. Don't let me down. But how are you and the whole team feeling about it?
We know we have a lot to work on, and
really?
I know it's the tournament's next week. But we had, even against Optic in this, we won our first series against Optic 3-0. But in the first match, we were down by like 40 points in the first dom. We just came back to win. Like we have a lot of holes we need to fix, so we don't having to come back like that is not good.
Same in the Search and Destroy, right? You were 4-0 down in the search.
We were down 4-0 in that search that you just showed.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, throughout the course of the weekend, we were down in a lot of searches, and we came back to win them. So it was just maybe we're good at adjusting to our team.
I was going to say, is there something that happens mid-game that you guys are able to identify and then exploit, or what is kind of the cause of all these comebacks? Because as you mentioned, we saw Rise down quite a bit, and it always seemed to be some shocking second-half comeback or some late-game S&D comeback that we saw help you get to a top 4 finish.
Mostly it's just pinpointing where in S&D it's mostly pinpointing where certain people play or where their tendencies are, and then like, are we going to attack him or are we going to attack someone else, and just going after certain people. Because once you have numbers advantage, then it becomes a lot easier to do whatever you want. So just like attacking certain people helps a lot, and that's what we were doing.
We saw 44 matches in Season 3 regular season of online play. When you got to LAN, when you got to Nashville, you found out you're playing against Evil Geniuses, Optic Gaming in the pool, and then you'd have to wait and find out who is coming out of the open bracket. What were your thoughts coming into the tournament? Did you think that you had a chance of coming out on top of this pool? Did you plan on getting second? How did you feel you stacked up against EG and Optic Gaming on LAN as opposed to when you played them online?
Honestly, I don't think I would even play if I thought that I didn't have a chance against whoever we were playing against. Optic Gaming probably has a positive record against us online. So they beat us most of the time when we play online. And then EG, we have a pretty good record against them, but we know how they play. And then when it comes to tournaments, it's just about showing up on that day and playing the best you can and hoping for the best. I expected to win the pool. I always expect to win, though, so maybe I'm delusional.
You went Game 5 against EG. Were you surprised by EG's strength? Were you upset that you guys lost that Game 5? What happened in that start to the weekend?
In that Game 5 against EG, we went down just like we did against Optic. I think we were down 5-1 against EG, and then we ended up losing 6-4 in the last map. We just started off way too slow, and I don't know. It's probably my fault. I didn't adjust soon enough, but I wasn't surprised by their strength. I mean, it's EG. They lost to like Optic and Envy this past weekend, so they lost to 2 good teams as well. The game just has so much competition and talent in it.
So does that mean, with you saying that, you would say all these like sort of tweets and rumors of the fall of EG? Would you say not necessarily? You expect them to stay around.
It's different when it's EG because EG is EG. They won so many tournaments in a row that like even if they don't place like second, people are like, oh my god, what's going on? But it's whatever. It's a new game coming up for them soon, and they have some of the best quality players in the world. They'll be fine.
Do you reckon they're gonna stick together?
Oh, of course not.
Of course,
something's gonna change.
Had to ask.
Something's gonna change.
Well, you guys beat you beat Optic Gaming twice. You eventually fell to FaZe. What went wrong after coming off this big high, the victory over Optic Gaming, Game 5? We see you face off against FaZe. What went wrong for Rise in that FaZe matchup?
First, let me give FaZe their credit. They won the tournament. They were playing really strong. Like their teamwork was on point. That was probably the best teamwork I've faced in Go so far. But we lost the first Octane down by 2 points. And I mean, there's like, in any game like that, there's like little things that could go any other direction that would change the course of the game. 2 points, so close. And had we won that probably would have changed both teams' outlook on the next map. We lost S&D, and then we tied Warhawk Blitz twice. Like, just close games, and then they clutched out the third time. Like, so we got 3-0'd by FaZe, but the games were so close. It could have gone either way. I don't know. Hopefully we get to play them again. They beat us in the last 2 tournaments. Tired of losing to FaZe.
Tired of losing to FaZe. Well, speaking of the next tournament, of course, Season 3, it's kicking off October 24th through the 26th right here on MLG.TV. You guys, coming in with the number 2 seed, will face off against number 7. I believe that's Noble in the first round. How do you feel you stack up against Noble? Are you pretty confident you're going to make it to top 6 after a round 1 Vic?
I'm extremely confident we're going to beat Noble, but they're a very good team, and they're some of my really good friends. They beat Envy 3-0 the first time they played them this past weekend. So they're not a team to overlook. They're really strong at S&D especially, and that's also our best game type over this past weekend. So we're not going to have any free wins, I guess you could say, against them. It's going to be really close.
And then who do you expect to see at the top of the podium in our top 3 placements at the end of Season 3?
Rise, Envy, and probably Denial.
Ben laughed at you when you said Rise, by the way.
I mean, of course.
You
he's
have
got
them in your top 2.
I have them in my top 2, but I just...
have to
you
say
should ask the
myself.
question, who do you see in your top 3 excluding yourself?
Excluding yourself. All right.
Well, the
Who's our third team to join Envy and Denial?
Envy, Denial, and probably... I mean, I'll just give FaZe their credit. They just won.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
Probably FaZe.
Sounds
Apathy
good.
was with Monster this past weekend. If he plays like that again, then who knows?
I told Ben before UMG Nashville, I said Apathy's in my top 10. He may be the best player
That's
in the
not
game.
what you said.
That's what
Oh,
I said.
okay. You said he may be the best player in the game, and I looked at you as if you were crazy.
So, with that said, I want to hear it from you. Who do you think is currently the best player in the game?
Excluding anyone on your team.
Including my team. Probably Zuma.
Zuma.
I think Zuma is good at respawn, and he's also like one of the best
Wow.
S&D players in the game.
So if you
Who else
have
has
to,
been high on Zuma?
wait,
by the way?
calm your horses. So let's just say one of your teammates randomly left. Let's hope they don't, but if they did, you would pick up Zuma over any other player.
I mean, he wouldn't join, but yeah, I'd go after
But
Zuma
if you did, right?
over any other player. Yes,
Wow,
probably.
interesting.
And if you somehow, if Rise went away and you had the opportunity to join any team, where would be the first team you would head out to?
Optic Gaming,
Optic Gaming.
Green Wall.
Solid choice.
All right. Well, Pacman, we know you guys have a big tournament coming up. A lot of preparation to do going into that. Final question for you: who was your toughest opponent at Nashville? Who's the team to watch?
Honestly, Denial. I think Denial beat us. They were really strong when they played us. That was the toughest team we played. They were really strong. That's all I can say about them.
Denial it
I'll be
is.
watching some Denial VODs. So when we play them again, we could beat them.
Well, hey, man, it was a pleasure watching you this past weekend. I tweeted it out on Friday. If Pacman keeps playing like this, Rise is going to do big things. You guys definitely showed up in Nashville. A lot of people taking note that Rise can get it done on LAN just as well as they can online. Congratulations on the big wins, and we hope to see more from you live in Columbus.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, my friend. All right,
All
guys,
right.
that was Pacman. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter, the captain of Rise Nation. A team to watch. They proved it in Nashville. Definitely a dangerous squad, and we're going to see them in our next video after the commercial break. This one is from that match he was talking about against FaZe, who went on to win the tournament. We'll be right back.